We live. What is up, everybody? Welcome to Super Gamecast. I am your host, Bronson Fiore, joined by the mod mommy wheeled over the banhammer herself, Emily Holslander.
What's up, my nerds?
And then we have the sneakiest of ninjas, your HR ninja.
Well,
On the ball today, I see.
yes.
Oh, yeah, without question.
So we got a whole fun-filled morning packed with news. Not a lot of news this week. I was really scraping the bottom of the barrel when I was digging
Yeah,
for
that sounds
stuff.
about right.
But what we did learn, however, is in Baldur's Gate 3, it will let you have sex with a druid in their bear form.
This one is still boggling my mind right now. Like, what in the actual shit? Really?
Really.
It feels weird. I don't know why, but it feels weird.
I mean, it is...
I'm not the only one that thinks that. Thank God.
It is a little weird. It is a little weird, but they had some things to say on the matter.
Oh, I'm sure they did. I'm sure they did.
What a weird way to reveal it too. Is it like some kind of press event and like
Hey, guess what? You guys wanted to do this for a while. Now you can't.
So it was part of a TikTok. So
Oh yeah.
TikTok, it proved too saucy for TikTok, which pulled the live stream an hour before it ended. Quote from the director of publishing: TikTok canceled our stream because it was too artistic and they don't understand.
Okay. Sure.
Yeah, let's go with that.
That's very artistic. Okay. Airbrushing them bare titties. You know.
There are so many jokes. I can't.
When they announced it, this was the quote: "Have you ever considered the joys and pleasures of sexual congress with a wild-shaped druid?" I think
No.
Never. Not once.
Because at Larian we need to talk to some people on your staff then, and maybe get their pets.
Yeah.
Maybe get their pets checked.
Like, what the fuck, you guys? Just they're severely fucked in the head over there.
I'm gonna just look at that art department and go, so do any of you have exotic pets, and how are they doing?
God.
Oh god.
But lead writer Adam Smith says, because at Larian we have, and ultimately landed on the side of giving the people what they want: tender, consensual romance with a man temporarily transformed into a grizzly bear.
I will say,
okay,
consent. Thank you.
Where? Okay. I was about to say, where is this going?
Consent. Thank you.
Okay, yes.
Consent. But when has anyone ever asked if they could have sex with someone, with a druid that is temporarily wild shaped into a bear?
Okay,
when?
So this is what I like to think happened during this, is that somebody on their art team heard someone is into bears, big burly hairy men, and they took
the term,
and they took it literally, like, oh man, I want to fuck a grizzly bear.
Not what they fucking meant, okay?
That is my only guess. That is my...
And if that's the case, that was not what they meant. Okay?
I mean, you know what? It could have been.
It could have been. Okay, maybe that small chance it could have meant something else, but not what it means. Not what it fucking means, guys. Oh god. I can't with this right now. I can't.
It's so awesome. Sorry, everybody, myself for freaking out. Yeah, this is fantastic. This is fucking amazing. I'm all for like having different options, and technically, it's okay. So where does this fall on the whole like? It is like okay, it's technically a human.
Yeah.
It's technically a
Mm-hmm.
human. So how does that work?
Are you asking where these lines are drawn?
Yes, I am.
I
Well, I
mean,
mean, like at the end of the day, I guess, like how is it different from a furry?
Because that's a
uh,
costume. This person is physically transforming into a
Yeah,
bear.
yeah.
Is this bestiality? Is what I'm asking.
it's a
Are you saying
fine
this where the line
line.
is?
Yeah.
It is a very, very, very fine line between actual consensual
Well, no, it's consensual no matter
goodness.
what in
Yeah,
this. It's just that what I'm asking is it bestiality because that's a bear.
it's a very fine line. Like
All right.
almost non-existent line.
All right, Ninja. What's? All right, you were gonna say something. I'm sorry.
Nope.
No. What? It's not
No,
bestiality?
no, I think it is. I think there's a line there that you're crossing.
So we have a
We're
comment. We have a comment in the kick chat. Aaron, good to see you, darling. What the hell have I walked in on?
Welcome.
Hi.
Well, for those of you that missed it, the fine folk,
Aaron, you can fuck a bear.
a literal bear, not just a big hairy dude.
Yeah.
But an actual bear in Baldur's Gate 3.
Yeah, so in Baldur's Gate 3, you can have sex with a druid wild shaped into a bear.
Finally!
That's what he always wanted.
Is this really what you want, Aaron?
Well,
Like,
well, once again, the question I'm asking is this bestiality? Is this considered bestiality, or is this just weird?
it's just weird, but it's a really fine line between weird
His T&D
and
is
bestiality. I mean, I'm sure there have been plenty of
That's
players as druids who have thought about that at least once.
oh fuck yes, there are.
Yeah, absolutely.
At least once.
I've actually been wanting to go. I wanted to buy that D&D movie. I watched it in theaters, and I'm probably gonna buy
It's
it soon.
good.
It's really good.
I have a digital copy of it because my brother has
Oh.
digital copies of everything. Yeah.
Yeah, I bought some movies last week, and I'm gonna be on that train again soon. The Bear Man is yes. They even say
Yes.
it's consensual
They stated
sex.
consensual.
My like I said, my question with this is more of a, is it is this bestiality? Is this considered bestiality because they are taking the full form of an animal, even if it is consensual. Like this isn't like Ninja said with a furry costume. This is So
I'm still standing on the very, very, very fine line between weird and bestiality.
oh, it's weird. No, it is weird. You don't.
But it's a fine line.
No matter what, it's weird. Whether it's bestiality or not, we crossed that line a long time ago with this
I
one.
think it's just probably the natural progression of furries, right? If furries had magic instead of costumes, they'd be wild shaping.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Man, now that's a funny thought to think about. That's a funny thought to think about when you're like, oh yeah, I guess if you went to like, because Reno has a massive furry convention that comes around once a year. And I just looked over at the camera when I said that, and Emily's face was like shock and horror.
Oh man, we went to a Walgreens while the convention was in town, and like they couldn't have been older than like 16 or 17, but these three girls get out of a car and they all have cat ears and cattails on. And I'm like, what is going on? Who does that in public? And then I realized what was happening like 2 blocks over.
I can't with this.
Is
I can't with y'all.
Move to. This is the area.
I can't with y'all right now. Like, dear Jesus.
Okay, so we've come to the decision. It is not bestiality. Got it.
No. It's very much weird.
It's weird. It is very weird.
It is very weird.
But not bestiality.
I didn't watch the thing, but I saw some pictures, and one of the guys like Are you sure? He said something like, "Are you sure you're ready for this? Like, I'll be very large." And the guy's like, "Large is what I'm after." And then the other guy turns into a fucking bear, and I'm like, "What? What is going
All
on?"
right.
What the?
You know,
Okay.
I'm not gonna lie. The reason I'm not super into this game and don't want to play it is because I think the combat looks like hot giggity garbage.
I have not looked at combat for Baldur's Gate 3, so
like
it's a CRPG. If you like CRPGs, you like Baldur's Gate.
Yeah, so like, cause man, if they made that game
debatable.
like combat like Diablo, I would never stop playing Baldur's Gate. But it's very like the second they shut off the combat and it was like Divinity 2, I was like, oh no.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's a classic, like that classic D&D CRPG formula.
Yeah.
Most like D&D or
No.
tabletop-based games use that formula. But Pathfinder actually there's a Kickstarter for a Diablo-like Pathfinder game, so
Ooh.
that's on the way.
If this tells you what I think of that combat system is Divinity Original Sin 2 was on my Steam account. I played it for an hour and then returned it. So
Wow.
A lot of people like that. A lot of people like that gameplay.
No,
system.
a lot of people do. Tori and David were the ones who recommended it to me, and they really promoted it in Game of the Year that year. It's just not for me. So, all right, well, Baldur's Gate 3. It looks cool. It looks interesting. You can fuck a bear. Everything you've ever wanted.
And then some.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Is there a release date for Baldur's Gate 3 or
August 26th? I want to say.
So it's out. It's out now in early access.
I don't count that. Fucking hate that shit so much.
I've owned it for like a year. I played it for 20 minutes and was like, I'll wait for the full release.
No, my girlfriend has like bought it when it went into early access, but she refuses to play it till it's out.
Oh, most of the time, if you buy a game in early access, it's cheaper than the full release.
yeah.
Well, no, this is $60 even right now. It was $60 last year when I looked into it.
Maybe it'll be $70.
Once the full thing is released.
Oh,
once the release is.
No. Oh God. All right. Well. Anyway, it's out. I want to say August 30th, from what I remember.
Yeah, because I know they had a booth for it at PAX last year, so more than likely.
Like, everything about this game except the combat looks right up my alley and amazing. Like it looks so fucking good, other than its combat system, and I'm gonna find it super frustrating. I know that they bumped up the release date for PC to the beginning of August, so it wasn't competing with Starfield.
Oh, okay.
Oh, this is the same. I didn't realize this was the same team that did Divinity and Divinity 2.
It is, yes.
I didn't realize that. What I have heard that this is like the best D&D simulator that has ever been released, and I don't know if it's because you can fuck a bear or it's just the gameplay is good.
Somebody put that on the box. The best D&D simulator because you can fuck a bear.
Fuck a bear. That's right.
That's this week's podcast title.
Oh God. You're welcome, I guess.
God damn it. God damn it.
Yeah, I'm trying to find because it was supposed to launch on August 31st, but then they bumped that shit up to not be with Starfield.
Starfield in August?
Starfield's in September.
Well, early access is in August, like the last day of August.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. August 3rd. Yep, it's August 3rd that's out.
For PC on Baldur's Gate 3?
Yes, and then PlayStation keeps its original date. So yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, except for those Starfield to compete with there.
Yeah, like they well, especially because those audiences, there's probably a lot of crossover there.
Yeah.
You know, they it reminds me of like when Grand Theft Auto 5 came out and like everyone cleared out of the way. Except the Wonderful 101, which was hilarious. And then the same thing happened with God, what was it called? Destiny, the first Destiny. Like, everything got the fuck out of the way. So, yep. Anyway, so all your hopes and dreams. When you see those mountains, you can go there. You see that bear, you can fuck it.
Jesus fucking Christ, Aaron. Not even here, and I still want to kick your ass. God damn it.
I'm sure there will be a mod for that.
I did not know Aaron would
be I'm sure.
I was honestly, I didn't know Aaron would be listening. So like, I was totally looking forward to the text when he got caught up on the show. Like, bro,
what the fuck?
What the fuck? No, this fucker is watching it live.
Yep. All right, so we got so that's that. Baldur's Gate 3, it's out in a little under a month for PC, almost 2 months for PlayStation. We'll probably be checking it out. I know Aaron said he's going to be looking into getting it. I'll probably get it to play it with my girlfriend. I know, Ninja, you own it already, obviously, so... Yep. Alright, cool. Next up is, hey, a 272-page PDF of classified Sega documents from the mid-90s leaked.
It sure did.
Man, did you read all of it? Did you read all of them?
No, absolutely not.
Okay, I read a lot of them. There were, most of them pretty fucking boring and benign, but I got a couple of highlight ones cut out and put into the document.
Okay.
The first one being, so early on in their life cycle, the Genesis or the Saturn was kind of kicking the PlayStation's ass in Japan for like the first 8 months. And Tom Kalinske writes in an email, "We are killing Sony in every store in Japan. Saturn hardware is sold out, and there are stacks of PlayStation. The retailers commented that can't compare the true sales rate because Saturn sells out before they can measure it accurately. I wish I could get all our staff, salespeople, retailers, analysts, media, etc. to see and understand what's happening in Japan. Then they would understand why we will win here in the U.S. eventually."
How long is eventually? Because it's been like, what, 20 years? I don't...
20? It's almost 30.
No, it has not been 30.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Almost 30.
Jesus Christ.
The PlayStation, or the Saturn came out in 94 in Japan, 95 in America?
Jesus. It's like that meme, right? When you're like, let me think about this game that came out 20 years ago. What game comes to mind? Like Final Fantasy VII. That didn't come out 20 years ago. You know what came out 20 years ago? Final Fantasy X.
Mm-hmm. No, you want to feel real old. Final Fantasy, or not Final Fantasy, Resident Evil 7, like the one that rebooted the series, came out 6 years ago.
Jesus.
6.5, actually.
Jesus.
Oh, fuck.
Yep. Yep. There you go.
Ugh.
Super awesome.
Great. Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, so, and I mean, to be fair, he had good cause to think this, right? This was before their harebrained idea to push it out way too early in America. It was kicking ass in Japan because of Virtua Fighter and a bunch of other reasons. And, like, they had good reason to think this. But, obviously, reading it now, you're like, tee-hee-hee. So...
Interesting point of order.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting point of order. Sega Saturn was out 1 month longer than the PlayStation in Japan.
I mean,
because
yes.
Saturn came out in November of '94 and PlayStation came out in December. And in North America, Saturn had a longer run because it was May of '95 and then September of '95 for PlayStation.
That makes sense.
So it would make so much more sense that Saturn was beating PlayStation to a bloody pulp.
Well, not only that, like, I cannot stress to everyone how goddamn big Virtua Fighter was at this time in Japan.
Oh, yeah. Without question.
Like, it was dominating the arcade.
Mm-hmm.
Not just doing well in the arcade, dominating the arcade. Okay, it's the reason why when making like the CD add-on for the SNES that would become the PlayStation, Sony was like 3D. We need it to do really good 3D.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
so yeah, like, but you know, like just it's no shock that it did well at launch. It's just it in the United States they made a bunch of really big fuck ups. Um, One, they launched $100 more than the PlayStation.
Mm-hmm.
Two was they released it early. So the original plan was it was supposed to come out on a Saturday in September called Sega Saturn Day. Sega really loved these marketing pitches in the mid 90s, like where like Sonic 2 came out on Sonic Tuesday. You know,
Makes sense. Yeah.
yeah, like they loved shit like this. It was really good for their marketing department. And what happens with Sega is they had Sega Saturn Day all planned. They had a bunch of games for launch, and it looks like it was going to be great. But Sega Japan goes to them and says, "No, we need to get out early. We need to get out ahead of the PlayStation." Tom Kalinske says this is a really bad idea because we barely have games at all, and it's going to piss off a bunch of retail partners. Okay, Sega Japan still says no, we're doing it. Once again, bad idea. Still bad idea. And so what ends up happening is you have they go out in E3 and they say $399 and it's out today. And this really pisses off retailers like KB Toys after this because KB Toys didn't get shipments. And they were a huge video game and toys retailer in the mid 90s. Yep. Fucking gigantic. I think we had two of them in Reno. And they said, okay, we're not stocking Sega products anymore because of this. That's how pissed off they were.
Damn.
Shit.
Just to give you an idea of how mad as hell they were.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And it barely had any games. Like Virtua Fighter was huge, and it was huge here and impressive here, but not the same. Same with what was it called? Daytona USA.
Mm-hmm.
So like, yeah, and just no one was happy with this. It almost felt like sabotage from the internal side of Sega Japan to Sega of America. So yeah, and then a little bit of some more context from these emails that I have here. It's one thing to hear or read about how well we're doing in Japan versus Sony. It's another to witness it. I just visited 10 retail stores in Tokyo, most in Akihabara. It's now spring break, so the crowds of teen and college kids are huge. We are killing Sony in every store. The hardware is sold out. Our interactive displays are better. Our software displays and stocking are far superior. It's not unusual to see 40 to 50 copies of Panzer Y or Virtua Fighter 2 stocked, even in small stores, and they're selling fast. So, yep.
And they had some good games, and they think Sega could have stayed in the market if the Saturn and the Dreamcast just did a little better.
Well, the Saturn would have had to do a lot better, like a lot better.
Yeah.
But you're completely right about the Dreamcast need to do a little better. But like, yeah. Some other things to note about this was, of course, how badly retailers were kind of getting screwed on this too.
Mm-hmm.
Because looking at the retailer end of things, the total cost to manufacture a Sega Saturn in 1996 was $232. At this point, they were selling it for $299. But the retail margin was only 6%, meaning that on every Saturn sold, retailers only made $15.
Damn.
Retailers were looking to abandon the market en masse on Sega due to low margins. Partially.
Jesus.
So this was an email from Tom Kalinske to Neil Cohen. $249 price must be added visually and verbally. Amount of time committed to game footage seems to have decreased. We need at least 50% of the time on footage. And the quality of the footage is crucial. This is supposed to be on Virtua Fighter 2 and Panzer Dragoon 2, who is selecting scenes. And again, since we know Nintendo is going to position the N64 as the ultimate games machine, shouldn't we preempt that claim? Which, yeah. And then they were talking about a bunch of different range of marketing strategies and, you know, certain games coming out. But it at this point, it just didn't matter. You know, like they had all kinds of ideas. You know, they were talking about position. They were like reacting to Crash Bandicoot's marketing with Nights into Dreams. Yeah. So, and then they were like doing a 1-to-1 comparison on certain games, like on Destruction Derby and Wipeout. They even internally said graphics are inferior to the PlayStation versions. So, yeah. Hello?
Still here, still good. I was looking at stock prices for Sega and Nintendo. Nintendo's up to $11. Sega's at $5. I was just wondering how they were doing.
Yep. And then by the time 96 rolls around, they cut their marketing budget by 40%.
Oh, rough.
And third-party support was down a bunch. Sony third-party support was significantly stronger than the Saturn. And yeah, man, it was just a snowball, and it never got back. And then on the other side of that, it was hard to develop for. It was extremely hard to develop for, and they just never caught up, unfortunately. So
that's unfortunate.
Fun fact, also in these emails, when you were digging through them, there were plans for Shenmue to be a Saturn game originally. And Vector Man and Jurassic Park games were planned for the Saturn, but the studio worked on those for the Genesis, bailed on Sega.
Rough.
And then, because the 32X and its games sold so poorly, they had a plan together to see how much they could get for the scrap.
Oh, wow.
Yep. So,
the 32X, was it a standalone or was it like an add-on, like
that was a
console edition?
That was a Genesis add-on.
Okay. So it was like the Sega CD originally, right?
Yes. So I think the 32X came out first, but yeah, it was to increase processing power on the Genesis, and then the added CD, and then like people call it the Sega Tower of Power, where you have a CD, a Genesis, and a 32X.
That's right. Yeah, we never we had a Sega CD as a kid, but we never had a 32X.
I didn't have any Sega consoles. Like I had to play those at friends' houses.
My dad was.
I had the Genesis.
The Fantasy Star games, so we had a Master System, we had a Genesis, then the Sega CD came out and had, I think Shining Force was on the Sega CD. No, Lunar. He bought a Sega CD for Lunar.
Did you? So, question: did you own a Saturn?
No, I didn't get a Saturn until, like 10 years ago.
Well, did your dad own a Saturn then, or was this just no?
No, he didn't own a Saturn.
Did he just jump full PlayStation?
Yeah, because we were at a friend's house and they for a birthday party or something, and he just bought a PlayStation and a Nintendo 64, and we played Mario 64 and we played Battle Arena Toshinden. And right after that birthday party, when we left, my dad took us to Walmart and we bought a PlayStation and a Nintendo 64.
Nice.
I had a Super Nintendo that was a hand-me-down. And then my dad got a PlayStation for himself, for sports games mainly, and I rarely ever touched it. The first system that was mine that wasn't a hand-me-down was the N64. So, yeah, and then also you have to remember that the Sega Saturn was unbelievably hard to develop for.
Yeah.
Like absurdly hard to develop for. Because so as most people know, in coding today, most people use polygons, triangles. The Sega Saturn...
Lots of triangles.
Yes, millions of triangles. The PlayStation did this too. The Sega Saturn, however, coded in quadrangles, cubes, which is why the porting process was so hard. It also featured. It was one of the first ever systems to do multiple processors. That thing had 8 processors. 8.
Dang.
It had video processor 1, video processor 2. It had a sound chip dedicated to being its own, like, separate thing. It had, like, it had 2 CPUs. And then it had a processor just to control the disk drive to help reduce load times. So
interesting.
It feels like there was a lot that needed to be done with regards to porting when everybody is using, like, what up until then, and probably still now, I don't really know, but like polygons, right, is the standard. Why would you deviate from whatever that standard is and then try to get people to port over to your standard?
Because Sega was a bigger name and they didn't think Sony was going to be a big deal. And they also didn't realize how big 3D was going to be, because originally the Saturn was designed as a, like, primarily 2D machine. And then when they heard about all the shit going on with the N64 and the PlayStation, they went ahead and were like, okay, we need to put some more oomph into this thing and have it do better 3D.
Yeah.
Which is ironic, because they're the reason 3D blew up in Japan, because of Virtua Fighter. You know. And what's even funnier is, if you lived in Japan, and in general, the Sega Saturn was a better place to play fighting games, like Marvel vs. Capcom and whatnot. Yes, especially because it had a RAM expansion slot, so you could, like, run Marvel 1 and Street Fighter Alpha, like, properly. So, yep. Oh God.
Well, like a lot of the games that came out on that console, like have had a lot of staying power. I mean, like Marvel, right? There's Marvel, there's Panzer Dragoon, there's
Radiant Silvergun,
Radiant Silvergun. Yeah, there are a lot of games that came out on that thing that people, like, still talk about today.
Yeah, well, it's like the best of that library, like, came out in Japan though. Like that was the big issue with it, is like, yeah, if you were doing the import game with the Saturn, like, it was dope, like, it was super cool. But that's the problem, is like you were doing the import game.
Yeah.
You know,
which is a shitty game to play.
It's, well, especially in the fucking 90s.
Yeah.
You know? Like that's the, you know, so yeah, man, and they got their clocks cleaned, and they seemed to get their shit together with Dreamcast, but then that thing was a pirate's dream machine, and
oh God, it was so good. It was the best time.
Yeah, so, you know, yep, it's a weird thing to think about.
Yep.
All right, well, going forward, we have another news story here. The Street Fighter 6 sells 2 million copies.
Hooray.
I mean, hey.
That's a really big deal. Like, that's huge. You know, because, you know, fighting games that are not Mortal Kombat,
yes,
don't sell those kind of numbers early. You might hit 10 million lifetime. Like,
I mean, Street Fighter 5 didn't even hit 10 million. It hit 7.
Yeah, like you might hit 10 million lifetime, but, you know, you're yeah, like, it hit 7.2 million. You know, we all know Street Fighter 2 is in the what, some ridiculous amount of copies. You know, and then, so, you know, and Capcom's long-term goal is to hit 10 million copies, which I actually think that's totally doable.
Absolutely.
I think that's completely doable. They should be able to hit that fine with how good the title is, the word of mouth. Um, I've heard nothing but good stuff about this game. It's all over social media. It really is just popping off like fucking crazy.
Yep.
So, yeah. Um, I don't know, man. Like, this is great. Because to my knowledge, I don't think many fighting games hit 10 million.
No, I think it's probably just Street Fighter 2 and then a handful of Mortal Kombat games.
I think Dragon Ball got close. If my memory serves. Um,
Dragon Ball and Xenoverse. So Fighters and Xenoverse have both hit 10 million.
yeah. Okay. So I pulled up a list here. Here are the ones that have hit 10 million or more. Dragon Ball Fighters, Dragon Ball Xenoverse, Tekken 7, Mortal Kombat X, Smash Bros. Brawl, Mortal Kombat 11, Smash Bros. For Wii U, Street Fighter 2, Smash Ultimate. And then if you Street Fighter 4 got very close, 9.6 million. So yeah, that's a tall order, and I think part of it's because fighting games they're fucking hard to get into, and as much as we like the technical side of that shit, it's not a guarantee for anything.
Yeah, well, it's absolutely not for everybody. Like, I understand why they have modern controls. I kind of wish that, like, if we're talking about introducing like new blood into fighting games, that the dynamic control system, the AI control system, was online. But I feel like part of me understands why it isn't.
Oh yes,
because you get perfect hit confirms and perfect punishes and perfect combos. Like, I get it, but like, I think that would have brought in many like more people. I think it would have brought in more people if that were onlineable.
But then you got stuff like Smash Bros. Being blowing everyone out of the water, and I get it. It has the Nintendo advantage and whatnot, but part of the reason that so many people are into Smash Bros. Is because anyone can pick up Smash Bros. And do cool shit.
Mm-hmm.
And the people who are really good at Smash Bros. Are just gonna dominate regardless.
Yep.
But you can still have a fun time being casual.
Well, I guess modern does that to an extent.
I mean, it does. I have definitely played some modern control scheme people who I was pleasantly surprised how good they are.
Yeah.
So
anytime I play a modern Luke, I'm just like, oh, good. Okay, here we go.
Right. So, that's. I think this is brilliant. I love that game is awesome. It deserves all the praise it's getting.
Absolutely.
I wish they would fix the connection errors that have been happening the past 2 weeks.
Yes.
And it's yet another example of Capcom being on just absolute fire.
Mm-hmm.
And we talked about it in the Discord. Since 2017, Resident Evil 7, Monster Hunter World, Street Fighter 5 got mostly fixed. Monster Hunter Rise, Resident Evil 2, Resident Evil 4, a shit ton of collections. They have just been on fire. Like, my two favorite games this year are Capcom games.
Yep.
Resident Evil 4 and Street Fighter 6.
Capcom has absolutely been, like, just killing it.
Mm-hmm. Might be 3 of my favorite games this year, depending on the Exo Primal does on this Friday. Yeah. So, yeah. And I think this could also be good for the fighting game genre in general. I think that the more people that you get into fighting games, like, the easier, the more people you have in the fighting games, the better. Because the big problem that the FGC always tends to have is getting new blood in it. Like, if you go to any local, it's dudes who have been going to that local for, like, half a decade, minimum.
Yep.
And it's because of the execution barrier.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know. We'll see how it works out. I'm looking forward to that game hopefully continuing to sell more and improve. And I know Rashid's out in 2 weeks, and he looks dope.
He does look dope.
I want my man El Fuerte.
Oh,
He's in a lot of. I don't know how much World Tour you've played.
Zero, literally zero.
He is referenced like a lot in World Tour mode, which makes me think we may be getting El Fuerte.
We need El Fuerte and Hakan and Dan.
Capcom, please do this.
Right.
You'll have a lot more happy fighters if you get these guys in.
I mean, we already have a bunch of like gimmick characters that drink or get wind or get medals.
Jamie.
Hakan would fit right in.
You would.
You're a Turkish oil man. So you have that, and then what else? What else is there, man? Yeah, I don't know. Sakura, of course. I like her.
Mm-hmm.
Please,
there's a lot.
for my
Dudley
sake.
is like Dudley not being in 5 for a lot of people was just a travesty.
Yeah, that's weird, especially considering where this is in the timeline.
Right.
The lack of Makoto in this one is surprising. You know, I'm trying to think of who else. Really weird. We don't have Sea Viper or God, or Rose.
Where is my Crimson Viper, man?
I just give me the roster.
That woman was
just bring the entire roster of 4 right on over.
They just poured it right over.
Yep.
Please.
1-1. No, I would love a joke season that's Errol Fuerte, Dan, Sakura, and Hakan.
Mm-hmm.
That would be hilarious. Yeah. So, speaking of Capcom, speaking of the fine folks over at the Cap of the Com,
yeah,
we have a Capcom is looking to bring back Onimusha and Mega Man.
Yeah. I saw this. I was like, oh, please, I need Onimusha.
Well,
please, Capcom.
So their showcase during the not E3 period was disappointing. They mostly showed Dragon's Dogma, Exoprimal, and DLC and whatnot. But in a recent Q&A, an investor asked them a very pointed question about Monster Hunter. Tora no Palm, Sengoku Basara, and Onimusha, and the answer was promising. The answer was the exact answer was a short, with merely replying, "We are carrying out discussions regarding the future expansion of these titles, so they can be enjoyed by a wider audience." The problem with that is not clear with the comment replies to all of them or just some of them, as it's super obvious Monster Hunter will be a new game soon. Duh. Yeah. No. For those of you who know what those were, Sengoku Basara was a successful Dynasty Warrior style game in the PS2 era. Tora no Palm was a Japanese-only visual novel. And then Onimusha was fairly popular in the early 2000s. Like, a lot of people played Onimusha, and it just kind of disappeared. And then a lot of people can assume that new Path of the Goddess game from that Xbox showcase was going to, like, when that showed up and it was like Capcom, I was like, oh shit, is it a new Onimusha?
Yeah.
It looks awesome. Like, that game looks fucking dope.
Yeah, it looks great.
So
Sarah got an anime that is not terrible. I remember.
Really?
I remember watching that in like the early 2010s.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's not bad. That's a franchise that I don't know that will ever come back, but the games were fun. I like the games.
Fair. All right.
I was a big fan of Onimusha when that came out.
Onimusha was cool. I thought it was a cool game. I wasn't super into it or all about it, but I liked it. So yeah. I don't know. I think most people I know are more concerned about the return of Mega Man.
Yeah, we haven't seen a good Mega Man game in years.
Like, Mega Man 11, when did that come out? Like, 2011?
think so.
20. Oh no, it's the Amazon Luna. 2018.
What? No
Really?
way.
Initial release
Mega
date
Man
September
11?
6th, 2018.
Okay. So it's still, still been a good 5 years.
Yeah, well, when's the last Mega Man X game we got? Like,
Oh fuck, Jesus.
yeah.
I don't know
It's
why
been a
they
hot
just stopped
minute.
with Mega Man X.
Well, when did Inafune leave Capcom?
Good question. So Mega Man X8 and Mega Man Maverick Hunter X were 04 and 05. So
Yeah, see, it's been some.
it's been a minute.
He left Capcom in 2010.
I mean, yeah, but not like he's done anything
Oh.
that's mattered since.
No, but I mean, he worked on Mega Man Onimusha and Dead Rising.
Yeah, we've had more Dead Rising since though. Like we had my favorite Dead Rising came out in 2013. Dead Rising 3. So all right. So last news story we have is Diablo 4 Season 1 is out July 20th. It is going to include a brand new quest line featuring new enemies, new powers, and the first battle pass. It takes place after the events of the main campaign, introducing a new character, an ex-priest from the Cathedral Light who is trying to stop the spread of the Malignant. Season of the Malignant features a dangerous new threat in the form of malignant monsters spreading throughout Sanctuary. Any elite monster will despawn as malignant monster with additional powers. Malignant monsters can be defeated by drawing out their corruption and trapping their malignant hearts, which can be inserted into rings and amulets. The battle creatures, Blizzard says, Seeking of the Malignant will include new builds that are, quote, stupidly powerful thanks to new malignant powers. They also hinted a new boss, monster, new legendary, new unique items, and more. The new items won't be season exclusive and will appear in the Eternal Realm too.
So we've seen how Blizzard handles stupid powerful builds before.
Okay, go on.
They get nerfed within a week. So I'm not holding my breath that we're gonna see stupid powerful builds in this season.
My whole issue with this is I don't. So from what I remember, to play the seasonal content, you need to create a seasonal character, right?
Yeah, so you're gonna have to create a seasonal character.
So if I want to continue,
I think you have to have completed the campaign as well.
Oh, I already did that this week. But if I wanted to play this new story stuff, because that's all I care about, with my character, I can't do that.
I don't think so. I think you have to create a new character for each season.
Fucking awesome. So
unless they roll it over into the standard ladder, and they've done that before.
If they don't, then I'm not playing the story content. I'm sorry. I do not. I just care about checking out the story stuff. I do not care about this seasonal ladder stupidity.
All of that bullshit.
Yeah, so that's whatever. I mean, the content looks cool. That game's super good.
Yeah. I mean, I need to get around to finishing it. I've been too busy playing like Final Fantasy 14 and Street Fighter, but like, and Final Fantasy 16.
I just finished the campaign of Diablo this week. It's excellent.
I still need to finish it, so
I can't wait to crack into other stuff. I wish that they would have like made the eternal stuff matter more, or you carry your character over into it. I don't know. Into the seasonal content, I should say. So,
we'll see how they handle it. If I remember right, they did say you'd have to make a new character each season, and I know that will turn a lot of people off.
I mean, yeah, because I care about the progression of my character.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we'll see how it goes. All right, guys. Next up, we have no news, because that was the news. I told you it was a short, sweet news.
It is a short week. Yeah.
Yeah, so let's talk about what we've been playing. Hey, Emily, did you play anything this week?
Just did some more stuff in Jedi Survivor and Remnant from the Ashes.
Remnant of the Ashes. I'm trying to remember what that is.
It's that Dark Souls third-person shooter.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And it is so good. I loved that game.
It's great. I've been playing with my buddy who I play Diablo with.
Mm-hmm.
And because he's been helping me progress through this story and all that. He is being a salty little bitch. I love you, by the way. I love you, buddy. But because I was getting a bunch of the cool stuff on my first run, and he had gotten them on his like second or third or whatever,
Or
and
like
he's just
100th,
like,
because I know how those games work.
yeah, exactly. And he's just like, so salty. I'm so salty. This is bullshit. And I'm like, hey, don't be bitter.
I'm not gonna lie, that's kind of partially been my run of Diablo with Stella, because like, well, no, because like I keep getting legendaries, and she has kind of not been getting them. Yeah. Like my barbarian literally has all legendaries right now.
All legends.
That first month of Legion all over again. Why is everybody else getting legendary? Where's mine? Why does our fucking holy paladin have 6? Where's mine?
Oh my god! I remember David was so salty during Legion. So David is someone I know who I play those kind of games with, and I was playing, and like I got the best in slot legendary for Prot Warrior, just doing a world quest randomly. I got it like the second you could get it. Like, could not have gotten luckier. I believe it's called The Wall, if my memory serves. And like that dude did not get his best legendary until patch 7.2.
Sounds right.
Yep.
Right. I got the fucking Cephas ring first, and then I got the fucking move speed boots.
I mean, that second one isn't bad. Makes your life a little easier.
Not as a Shadow Priest where you're not moving.
Oh, yeah.
Man, everybody has to move. Don't lie to me. We all have to move eventually.
Right.
You know, this isn't like playing Black Mage in Final Fantasy.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Black Mage, you don't move. Even when the game tells you to move, you shouldn't move.
Stand on fire.
Stand in those ley lines. Those ley lines are the most important thing in your life. So, alright, so that's been cool. Jedi Survivor, did you finish the campaign of that, or are you still...
I did.
Okay.
I did finish the campaign. I'm just picking up all the loose ends and all that. Did all the bounties.
Mm-hmm.
Well, technically, for the bounties with Cage, there are 17 total. But you need 18 bounty pucks to get everything from her shop.
Okay.
The 18th one is the Hollow Tactics Cage fight.
Okay.
Sounds pretty cool.
It's fun, though. It takes a lot of strategy to do the Hollow Tactics, but it's good.
I really want to check that game out. I'm not willing to pay full price for it. It's kind of the same thing.
That's fair.
It's kind of the same thing for Hogwarts Legacy. Like, I want to check it out, but I'm just kind of being patient and biding my time until Black Friday hits, and I'm hoping that they're both like $40 on Black Friday, and I can snag them both.
Right.
Like,
I'm actually thinking about playing Hogwarts Legacy soon, because I have that.
It's a cool game. I've heard it's really good. I know that
if you're into Harry Potter, it's like it's absolutely worth playing. If you're not into Harry Potter, then it's all right. It's okay.
It's okay.
It's okay.
No, the whole reason I'm playing, I'd be doing the same thing with Mortal Kombat if it wasn't for the fact that we're probably gonna be playing it a ton on the channel.
Yeah.
Like that's the whole reason I'm picking that up at launch. Otherwise, I'd probably wait. So, yeah. All right. Well. All right. Cool. Right on. What about you, Ninja? I think you already alluded to it earlier.
Yeah, I mean, it's also been Street Fighter. Like, that game has got me in a hold.
Yeah,
it got you good, bud.
It
got you good.
I have played 60 hours in a month.
60 hours in a whole month.
I don't have one of my friends has more playtime than me, but I've got 120 hours, 120.1 hours.
It shows.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does, my dude.
The game is
Yeah,
fucking good.
it's really good. It, like I said, it's the most I've enjoyed a fighting game since Dragon Ball Fighters. Dragon Ball Fighters altogether, I have like 400 hours across 3 platforms in it, but
Mhm.
60 in 1 month is no joke for Street Fighter.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
if Diablo and if I wasn't splitting time with Diablo and Final Fantasy as well, it
Mhm.
would probably be way more. Like
Yeah, like I want to play Diablo. Like I haven't put enough time into Diablo, but every time I boot up Diablo, I'm like or Final Fantasy, I'm like I can be playing Street Fighter right now.
okay, so Final Fantasy thankfully has had a really good story, at least to keep me interested.
Mm-hmm.
And in Diablo's case, my girlfriend's been really into it, and it's been a fun way to spend time with her. So,
Oh, good.
so yeah, like that's why it's been easy to go back to Diablo. But like, yeah, man, if I was left to my own devices, and like Final Fantasy story wasn't just so fucking amazing, like I'd
Uh-huh.
probably be grinding Street Fighter constantly. I will say I was really happy when I hit platinum in Street Fighter and realized, okay, I can hang in platinum.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I was not deranking automatically. Like I was putting up good fights, and I was like, okay, so I can take a little bit of a break now, because I know
Yeah.
I'm not gonna hit diamond for a long time, if ever. So
Yeah, the grind is rough. Like I've been hanging in the low levels of platinum, and just to get to the high levels of platinum is gonna be a ride for me, I think.
well, I mean, we all saw that chart, like the breakdown of like
Yeah.
what it takes to get to what. Like, yeah, dude, like what diamonds like what
That's nuts.
diamonds like 7% of the community,
Uh, mhm.
and
Yeah.
then like master is like 1%.
Yep.
And
Yep.
the thing that you have to remember, everybody, that is really important to contextualize. If you are in platinum, you are in the top 15% of people who play this game.
Yeah, something like
Yeah.
that.
I want you to know, if you are platinum, you are in the top 15% of people who play this game. So you're better than you think.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like realistically, like I know that platinum feels like it feels good, but it also feels like, oh god, I'm so far away from where I want to be. It's like, kinda, but not really.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, and
So
like it's this is the first Street Fighter game that has gelled with me. Like I played a lot of 4, but like not. I never took it seriously. I played a lot of 5, but never took it seriously. I think the furthest I got in 5 was like Super Silver.
yeah,
Mm.
the furthest I got in 5 was also like mid silver.
So and like when I got to gold and then got to platinum, I was like, all right, okay, I'm feeling this game.
Mm-hmm. Um, I didn't. So I didn't care for 4, or not 4. I didn't care for 5, but I love 4. I played a ton of 4. Like so much goddamn 4. Yeah. So, yeah,
Well, I
and
lost a lot in 4.
you lost a lot of. I played Geef
Yes.
back then, and Geef back then was even more nasty than he is now.
I used to, well, I would go to locals for Marvel, and they always had Street Fighter as well. And so I was like, yeah, okay, I'll play Street Fighter or whatever. And we had like we had 2 killers, right? We had a Marvel. In Marvel, we had mine, who was like an Evo, top 8 Evo placer. And then in Street Fighter, we had XSK Samurai, who has always plays consistently well in Street Fighter. So I lost a shit ton in Street Fighter, and I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing, man. And you're like, it's all good, whatever.
Um, yeah, like for me, it was like I picked up Street Fighter 4 because it looked really cool and I was interested in it, and I was having a good time just dicking around with it. Zangief was really powerful and really a lot of fun to play. Like Zangief was dope in that game.
Green
Uh,
Hand was so good.
Green Hand into fucking SPD boy.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Uh, but I really got good at it when my friend James came over. And my friend James came over, and when he came over, he showed me how, like, no, this is how people really play this game. This is like, if you're good, this is the way you play.
Yep.
And I practiced against his Viper and his Cammy a whole bunch, and that is how I got good at Street Fighter 4. Is just playing that dude over and over and over and over and over again. And yeah, I had a blast doing it. And then I played Marvel, and I really enjoyed Marvel, but I personally, if I were starting them today and learning them today, I would probably enjoy Marvel a lot more. And would have gotten more into it. It's just that I didn't want to deal with the learning curve of doing another game, basically. So I got good enough to where I could hang, but like I wasn't able to do like real combos or anything like in a meaningful way. I do have one small Marvel achievement. When I went to PAX 20, yes, when I went to PAX 2012, Capcom had a setup to where you could win a fight stick, but you had to beat a pro.
I think I remember that.
Yeah, but you had to beat a pro player. They had this whole stage where they had these two sticks set up, and the ground was this giant screen with the game on it and everything.
Oh, Jesus.
And
that sounds sick.
It was fucking awesome. I actually have pictures of it. But, so I went in and I did my set, and I did not win, but I was the first person to take a character off the guy. Like, he
really?
Yes. Like I did not, I was the first person to take a character off of this pro player. I wish I would have got the name. His Doctor Strange was fucking everybody up super hard. And I took out his Doctor Strange with my team of Dante, Virgil, and Ryu. And as I would later find out by talking to people at PAX, Ryu is trash in that game.
Dante and Virgil are really good, though.
They are. And then I would swap out Ryu for Beautiful Joe, who is not great, but at least he's better than Ryu. Is kind of what I understand of it anyway. So, yeah, I've actually been kind of wanting to bother to sit down and learn that game. It's just time,
Yeah.
adulting.
Yeah.
And realistically, I have time to learn maybe one fighting game at a time, especially what... I was actually looking at the games I played this year, and like there hasn't been a lot of games that I've... But the games that have come out are all like directly targeted at me and shit I like.
Yeah, that's accurate.
Like I love Street Fighter, I love Resident Evil, I love Final Fantasy, Diablo, Hi-Fi Rush is the shit. Zelda was awesome.
Rush really good.
Metroid Prime Remaster was cool as fuck. Final Fantasy 16 is the first good single-player mainline Final Fantasy since 10. So, yeah. Yeah. And that's kind of, so there you go. Okay. So you've primarily played Street Fighter, obviously.
Yeah, my wife and I started playing another game called Satisfactory.
Oh, I've heard about that. I think I own it.
It's like 3D Factorio.
Okay.
And we have started to go pretty hard into that. Like, it's a survival game, which is not like really what I'm into, but there's like this optimization aspect. So you're essentially you crash onto this planet, and then you've got to build a factory to like harvest the planet for resources and send back like scientific data on everything that you're getting out of the planet. And so there's a lot of optimization in like how your factory operates. And so like that is really the piece that has gelled with me, is like, okay, how can I do this better? How can I build this better? How can I like make this run better? And the answer for me is like not at all. Our factory is so fucking disjointed and all over the place. Like we have conveyor belts coming in for like ore, and then you send them into a smelter, but the smelter is like across the fucking map, and then the smelter comes back. They have another conveyor belt from the smelter into this thing that makes things for you, but that's back where like the ore is, and like it makes no sense the way we have this laid out. But it's a fun game.
All right. Okay. So you play anything else with that, or?
Nah, that's about it.
All right. Well, obviously, I put more time into Street Fighter on stream, and we actually played some Strive together. Our posse put some time into Strive, and
which y'all haven't done that in a hot minute.
Yeah, and well, the reason we put some time into Strive is during our Street Fighter stream, they had emergency maintenance. Like, the entire game went down, and we're like, fuck, what can we play? Because we have an hour to kill. And we ended up loading, and we are like, okay, well, what fighting games do we both own? None of these are crossplay except Strive. Cool, let me install Strive real quick, and we'll start playing. So.
Which, that was a good fight.
Yes.
Those were some good matches.
Well, it was two people who didn't know fucking clue what they were doing.
But you still had a good time, so that was the important thing.
Yes.
As long as you enjoyed it.
And also, Potemkin is just absolute bullshit. Look, man, like, you look at Potemkin and what I was doing with that character. Again, some of the, like, obviously, if you know what you're doing, it's, whatever. It's not gonna
That's
matter.
one thing.
But, like, I am fucking taking out half of this man's health bar in one attack. Just fucking
that's what we call OP.
I mean, I don't think the character's OP because there's probably some huge fucking drawbacks that I just don't know about because, I don't know the game well enough. But, like,
fair.
Man, is it fucking nasty. So, yeah. I don't know. Anyway, so that I'm about halfway through Final Fantasy 16, a little over halfway. I have 22 chapters to go. That game's combat is awesome. It's super good, super fun.
Yep.
It's way too easy on the default difficulty. Like, way too easy. Like, I don't have any of those special tools turned on or anything like that. But, like, dude, my God. Oh, Jesus. Yeah, so it's, like, I have been, I have had 2 fights in that entire game where I was worried, and only one where I died. Yeah. Like, it is...
I haven't played a ton of it, but I am just before the Garuda fight.
Okay, so the Garuda fight was the first one where I was like, oh shit, this is fucking challenging. So, but, like, generally, just, I've been blowing through that game's, like, just, it's too easy. Like, and I feel they designed it because they were very tentative about people playing, this is going to be their first character action game.
Yeah.
But if you've played a lot of character action games, like I have, it's probably my favorite genre overall, then, man, this is super baby easy mode. That said, story's great. The set pieces are amazing. I will say you can very clearly tell that this was made by the Final Fantasy people.
Oh, sure.
Like the Final Fantasy 14 people specifically.
Mm-hmm.
Because let me tell you that there is no fucking way that like it literally follows the exact pattern of 14's questing structure of like build, crazy, insane, epic moment, an hour to 2 hours of busy work bullshit, build, epic crazy moment, about an hour to a busy work bullshit, over and over and over and over again. And like the AoE markers on the ground are the same, and just like, okay. And like when I'm playing it, like I'm literally having this like mental game in my head of like, okay, was this part designed by the Devil May Cry guys, or was this part designed by the Final Fantasy guys?
Yeah.
Because I really, really like Devil May Cry. Final Fantasy XIV is the okayest. For me at least. So, it's not say it's bad. I've been playing it. That's the next game I'm playing. I just got my Samurai to 72, and I'm having a blast playing Samurai.
Samurai is easily my favorite class.
Samurai is fun enough to where it actually is making me considering trying raiding in that game again.
Mm-hmm.
That's how much fun Samurai is. So yeah. Trying to think if I put in. Yeah, I finished Diablo's main campaign. My girlfriend and I found the most broken as shit AoE build combo if you have a partner to do it with you. Necro has an ability that sucks everything in if you kill one thing, and it stuns everything it sucks in. And then Barbarian, you put a shit ton of points into bleed abilities and Whirlwind. And just, like, and if
I'm sure that just melts everything.
It just gone. Just, like, literally gone. Nothing is a threat. Like, we did the capstone dungeon 4 levels under level 50, which is what you're supposed to run it at. No problem. Completely blew through it. Bosses take a little while longer, but even then, they're not horrible. Yeah, it's just...
Sure.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. That's probably the most I've ever enjoyed Diablo 2.
Nice. So, what did you think of this story?
Very good. I really liked
Okay.
it. I really liked what they did with Lilith and Mephisto and the whole kind of ambiguous nature of certain things.
Mm-hmm.
I feel that I'm not gonna spoil what happens, but I feel the ending they blue ball you a little bit. Not gonna lie. Like, it's still good, but they definitely blue ball you a little bit. Because, like, it wraps up, but not as well as you would hope.
Sure.
So, yeah.
Well, I mean, the DLC or an expansion or whatever, right?
Well, yeah, they have, they said they have 2 expansions planned, and, like, we're gonna get seasonal story gameplay, which I'm really fucking hoping that the seasonal gameplay doesn't, the seasonal gameplay doesn't have you, like, locked behind, or the seasonal story stuff isn't locked behind, like, having to create seasonal characters. Yeah, like, that is gonna be, that is instantly a way I will never want to play your story.
Yep.
So, yeah. Yeah, and I think that's kind of it. Like, I really enjoyed it. Barbarian was super fun. Probably my favorite incarnation of Barbarian. I actually want to level him up really high so I can make really busted shit at level, like, with the higher levels.
Nice.
I will say, if you are a Barbarian, try and get that legendary that gives you Whirlwind and do a Whirlwind build as soon as possible. Because it's fucking broken as hell. So, yeah. That's basically that, Alright, guys, I think that's... Do we have anything else that we've been playing? Anything else we want to discuss?
Not me.
Alright.
No.
Well, we do have a couple things to promote, actually. So, we're starting Let's Plays. We're going to be doing Let's Plays soon. And you're probably like, oh, what are you Let's Playing? So, it's going to be me, our lovely HR Ninja here, Aaron, and our boy Ray from Roving Dumpster Fire are going to be playing Dark Souls 1 every Thursday from around 7 to 10. So, and this will be my first time going through Dark Souls 1 all the way. So, you'll enjoy that.
Oh, boy.
Yep. And then we have... and then on Tuesday, I don't know if we're doing another fight night or not. I'm going to have to talk to Aaron about that. And then...
I think he's out of town until Wednesday.
Okay. So
he's going to have to miss fight night this week.
So we'll do something that day. I might just stream me playing some 14 on the PC or something. But we'll do something that day. And then we have another fun-filled Sunday Morning SmackDown and podcast next Sunday. Finally, please do remember we are streaming on Kick. We are taking Kick somewhat seriously, so please follow us on kick.com/supergamecraft. And then all you fun folks, remember Twitch Prime.
For the love of God.
Do you want to see Emily starve? Because that is what happens if you do not give us Twitch Primes.
You can fuck off with that shit.
Alright. Bye, guys.
Oh, God.
Yeah.